Welcome everybody, this is another anticipated releases. Who is joining me on this lovely day?
Only the most attractive of the dudes, and that would be
Matt?
Yeah, well, second most attractive.
Yeah, it's gonna be me and Travis. You know, usually Mike is here to join us, and we're really bad with scheduling this, so we're just gonna do our anticipated releases. August isn't that much of a huge month, really. It's a good month, I would say, and me and Travis both have games that we're definitely picking up. So we thought it'd be a good one to at least highlight some of the games that we're looking forward to getting. And I would say there's mainly three, and it's going to be a little different structure. We're not going to have a traditional introduction. We just want to have more of a discussion about what we're excited about the games with a little bit of a little bit about the game as well. So which one do you think we should talk about first, Travis?
Let's talk about the one that I feel like both of us are least excited about. Not to say that's not exciting,
that's a good call.
But and that is going to be I already forgot.
Life is Strange 2.
Life is Strange. I wanted to say Last of Us. I'm like, I know that isn't right.
I actually always get that wrong, too. I don't know what it is. For some reason, I always would call Life is Strange Last of Us.
Exactly. I don't know.
There's something psychological that makes you say that.
Maybe it's because we keep doing it and we're around with each other too much. But Life is Strange 2, Episode 4. I mean, Life is Strange is a beautiful story, and then you get to choose kind of what happens, and then it's... I don't know what the Life is Strange 2 was like focuses on, because I watched Matt play the first one, and that story is very deep and really gets you in the feels in the end game. So I'm sure Life is Strange 2 did the exact same thing. There's a fourth episode.
From a little bit of reading, what it's saying is that there's two brothers, Daniel and Sean Diaz. Both, like, one of them is in their teens, like 15, 16. Another one is like a little younger than that, maybe like before you get into double digits. And there's an incident that happens in their hometown, and they kind of just are forced to run away. And I'm guessing, because I'm guessing it relates to the first one, so somebody has a supernatural power that they're trying to hide, really.
Yeah.
So in terms of what Life is Strange usually goes for, it doesn't really seem to deviate too much. If there's something very specific, please let us know about it, because when we were doing our research, we didn't really find that this episode 4 was too different from the other Life is Strange ones. If you know, Life is Strange is actually an episodic kind of game where it releases an episode. It's probably one of the reasons why people are starting to understand more of what episodic games are, is because of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. But this game is also by Square Enix, so you know that they love telling a great narrative. And yeah, it looks, at least in terms of what you would expect from a Life is Strange game, it seems to be hitting the right bells. I know that there's certain people who, I don't want to say controversy, but some people liked, obviously certain people like certain episodes more than others, and I think it's kind of unavoidable when you get to episodic games like this. But yeah, I think Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 was Roads, and then Episode 2 was Rules, and 3 was Wastelands. Yeah, we're not the biggest experts. This is the one that I think Mike would probably be the most excited about, but overall, it's nice to see that these games are still getting the spotlight, and especially after a company like Telltale shut their doors, it's good that somebody's kind of picking up the slack for more visual novel kind of games, not all action that we're going to be talking about soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But who is it? The Diaz brothers. The Diaz brothers, that's what it's about. Sean and Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's get into one that we've been freaking out about recently. Do you have one that you want to start with, Travis?
I chose the first one, so you get to choose the second one. I'll choose the last one then.
Let's do the next one, because this one's more of an indie release. Also Square Enix, by the way, and that's Naki. This game, I'll give you a little bit of a brief background, because I've actually beaten Lost Sphere and I Am Setsuna. I remember I looked back at our older videos, and I said, and I really do believe this, I Am Setsuna, because of that one impactful moment at the very end, I do think very highly of the game, and I think a lot of its criticisms were misjudged based on what the game was going for. It was you'll hear more of my thoughts coming up about this in a more recent video, hopefully soon, don't know when, about me talking about I Am Setsuna. But it does a really good job of pacing the story to a point where I would say it's pretty nice, even for people who want a little more variety in a game. It's not open world. It's a very linear style of storytelling that goes back to the old golden days of JRPGs, like the Chrono Triggers, the Final Fantasy VI's, Super Mario RPG. Those kinds of RPGs, that's what it's kind of paying homage to. And Oninaki is Tokyo RPG Factory's 4th game. So they started with I Am Setsuna, then they went to Lost Sphere, then Octopath Traveler, and then Oninaki. So in the beginning, they had a little bit of a rough call in terms of getting a good reputation behind them. They had good games, not great games. I think Travis would tell you that. I'm sure he thought Octopath Traveler was fantastic.
Octopath Traveler is amazing. Highly recommend you play it twice.
Exactly. So even people who don't like story modes, like Travis's friend Robbie, got absorbed into it.
Because the combat
and Oninaki is their
the combat is just so good in it, and like it's just a turn-based combat system. Like I really should have used Octopath Traveler as a counter argument against, but that I'm getting off point.
Yeah, turn-based combat in Octopath is actually really cool. I know it kind of actually kind of has inspirations from like Final Fantasy X and like again the art style of Final Fantasy VI, but Oninaki is completely different than what they've tried before. Every game up to this point from Tokyo RPG Factory was turn-based, and Oninaki is actually more of an active battle system, not like active time battling that they had, but like in more of a kind of like a Legend of Zelda kind of feel to the flow. But yeah, so in terms of combat, the combat style is going to be completely different. I think that's going to do them good.
It looks so cool.
In terms of, yeah, it looks really cool. And then Travis is now going to tell you about the story because he has more of a grasp of that than I do.
Yeah, so
I know the history.
Basically, once I saw Oninaki, and that is from Square Enix Tokyo Factory, I was like, I am now very invested in this game after just one little tiny teaser in the Nintendo Switch whatchamacallit, you know, the thing, the Nintendo Direct.
The Direct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is basically, you are what they call a watcher, and a watcher, you kind of switch, you have the ability to go between the living and the dead, like the afterlife and this life. And then you can basically kill, you know, these demons or daemons or whatever you want to call them, and that'll change like what abilities you actually have at your holster. So there's one called Aisha, and she is a balanced warrior, so you have a good amount of like speed and like strength, and then I'm assuming as you kind of defeat more things in the afterlife, and then because I know they also like unlock abilities in the real world, so then you'll able to unlock new areas based off of who you've captured and, you know, are able to, you know, use. And then you can also kind of choose who your favorite battle style is and then play it around that, which I think is super cool because sometimes battle systems can get really repetitive just because you're basically spamming the same combos. So being able to switch between all the different people that you've unlocked will keep it kind of fresh if you want to, or if you just want to use the most overpowered thing and get through the story, you can also do that.
Oh, I agree with that completely, and I think a good thing that I would want to mention is when me and Travis were hanging out, I mentioned because he picked up Valkyria Chronicles 4, and one of the best things about that combat system is on the surface and probably in the beginning missions it doesn't seem like you have a ton of variety, but I told him that if you play it right and you discover certain strategies, you can literally take down tanks by going to the side and blowing into them with a machine gun. It's a little broken of a strategy, but the great thing about that is you're able to have that customization to do what you want and to tackle the missions in those order. Yes, there are some that might be quote-unquote optimal, but it gives you the freedom to tackle it in a lot of different ways, and I'm seeing that kind of freedom that's being shown in Oninaki, and I'm hoping it's like that. In contrast to some of their other previous games, like I felt Lost Sphere was very restrictive in that way. They had a very great idea of using an active time battling system and emphasizing the whole aspect of an arena-like system, but an arena-like battle, so you can line up and hit multiple enemies at once. But all that really amounted to was the boss would kind of stand in the middle and throw out an attack that hit almost everybody anyway, or just lining up an attack and running away the entire time. It didn't really utilize the combat system very well. Also, the enemies never really moved, and so that's one of the things that also made it very non-dynamic. And I think Oninaki is taking the right steps to show that, hey, we've heard the criticism of our previous games, and we've heard about how to make them better, and now they're more focusing on this like kind of active battling system that hopefully will counteract the negative feedback that they've gotten from in terms of battling from like Lost Sphere and whatnot. I do think Lost Sphere was their weakest. I've not played Octopath yet, but Oninaki I feel like is steps in the right direction. And it's all about reincarnation, which is, I think, already a very interesting topic to fixate your game around. And I love that idea.
And I can't wait to hear the soundtrack, because like being able to go into the afterlife and then like the living life now, I think they're going to have really good contrasting music, and Square Enix always hits music out of the park.
Oh, yeah. Great use of leitmotif, too. And the fact that, what was it? And the fact that even though I might not have liked Lost Sphere that much, I did like I Am Setsuna. All of them still had great music. So overall, I think this is showing up to be a really great one, and a game that looked really overshadowed, just like the one that we're going to mention next, that I feel like should have more of a focus, if anything, especially how well that Tokyo RPG Factory did for Octopath Traveler. This game, I'm hoping, sells very, very well, especially on the Switch.
Yeah. I'm like debating what I want to get it on, because I'm so excited that it's coming out in the same time as... Because usually if it comes out on Switch, it's late, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. Hey, August 22nd for the Switch.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Travis, lead us into the last one.
Okay, so this is a game that I thought should have gotten more attention during E3.
Same.
Because all of the gameplay I saw of it just made me want it more, whereas some of the other things I'm like, okay. But that is the Nintendo Switch exclusive, but third-party Astral Chain. It looks so good. It looks so cool.
Oh, absolutely. The coloring, like all itself, like it's using a lot of like dark shades of like red and blue and stuff like that. So like in terms of like the color dynamics and everything, not even mentioning the combat, already it looks fantastic from just a graphical standpoint. Even though it still looks fantastic graphically, it does a lot with like the darker color atmosphere to it too.
Yeah, and I just can't wait to see what the story has, because it looks so complex and deep, and just so many things are going on. I'm wondering how well paced it is to like unlock all these different what do they call them? The chained people, the things that you're
chained
using.
people.
Yeah, the
legions. I think.
Yes, legions.
No, legion. No, wait. You are a special. No, you're a police person. Sentient armaments called legions.
Yes.
Yeah, it's legions.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, because like the different legions that I saw, like you I guess it kind of works more or less like Oninaki. After you defeat them, you can kind of use them to your discretion. If you like one play style, you can kind of have him out a little more, and then you each kind of specializes its own little thing. Because that one boss battle, he kept like switching between them, and then it was able to like get different combo things off. So it looked really cool.
Yeah.
And
in terms of games too, one thing that I do want to mention before I forget, this games company, Platinum Games, does have a good track record. They made games like Bayonetta, Nier Automata. And the one of them that I want to say is kind of a weird one, and I hope it does better than that, is Star Fox Zero. I do believe that Star Fox Zero would have been a freaking fantastic game if they didn't have to try to play around with the Wii U gamepad. Otherwise, it was fantastic. So Platinum Games also has a good track record too for making them. I still believe that the fault of Star Fox Zero was with the gamepad, not with the gameplay. Well, the gameplay was affected by the gamepad.
Right.
Was overall with the fact of like I need to incorporate the Wii U gamepad to make this more interesting, and I was just like, no. If you gave me a single controller and let me play it just like Star Fox 64, Star Fox Zero would be rated like 2 points higher. I swear. Like I'm sure it was like a 7 out of 10 game. It would probably be a 9 out of 10 game if you didn't have to use that stupid gamepad. But Astral Chain won't have to deal with a stupid gamepad because it can just use a normal freaking controller, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be so exciting, and I just like that it's also...
Changing Legions will be so cool.
Or at least for now, it is a Nintendo exclusive. They might pull an Octopath Traveler and digress out. But...
yeah. Which would make sense, especially if you want to... I mean, especially because, like, the JRPG console of this generation is kind of the PS4. So it's understandable if they do. One of the things I do like a lot about... that it kind of reminds me of for Astral Chain. I don't want to say it is because I'm sure it's going to be a lot different in terms of, especially because of story and because of gameplay.
Xenoblade?
It does kind of remind, it looks like an edgier Xenoblade 2 in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Oh, I totally am too, yeah, because
okay
it's basically the Legion is equivalent to a blade, and then you're kind of working around the... Yeah. Yeah, I kind of got that vibe too, and that's what got me so excited, because I'm like, I like doing multiple things during combat.
Oh yeah.
So I am.
It's if you're able to be more dynamic during combat instead of just like I have to sift through a menu and choose my attacks. While I'm still okay with that, it does a lot to kind of distance certain players where it's like, I won't be picking this one up. In this one, the combat looks very dynamic. The graphics are very like edgy and whatnot. The only thing that I think could hold it back a little bit is the art style, where some people might see it and they're like, oh, it's one of those kinds of games,
anime,
not with like the hyper realism and whatnot. It's just, I personally disagree with that philosophy, but I know that can hold certain people back. But in terms of the reception this game is getting, based on the trailers, based on certain articles, other people have agreed with us in terms of saying this is pretty overshadowed of a game and looks pretty damn good. So I want to see it do well, especially I don't know. Hopefully, if I can convince more people to keep supporting the Switch, I would love that, because my God, it's already getting a great library. It's just we need more Nintendo games. Maybe I'm getting a little too ahead of it because we kind of had like a break from it for a while this year. But if we keep getting more Nintendo games that are first party and that are good, I don't even care. Like Breath of the Wild 2, I'm sure is going to be fantastic, and yes, I'm excited.
Yes, and Animal Crossing.
But yeah,
and Luigi's Mansion 3.
I'm honestly debating. Yeah, that's true. Metroid Prime 4.
Oh my God, I can't wait until they show me more of that stuff. I have been wanting.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of debating getting Animal Crossing just because of the fact they're not going to put their employees through excessive crunch. Just because I like the message with that. God, I don't think I'll ever play, but I'm like, I like the message. Bye.
Yeah, that game looks interesting. I'll say that.
It actually does look pretty fun. I never really played an Animal Crossing game. But hey, that might be for, that's supposed to be a March release. So hey, hopefully we'll hear us talking about it either late February or early March of next year.
Yeah.
But if that's going to mostly wrap it up, I think I'm going to finish with my thoughts. I do think that this month has a couple of games that were kind of overshadowed in my mind and that like didn't get the, I don't want to say hype because I kind of hate when people get hyped up for a game and it fails. Didn't get like noticed as much as the other ones that like this game didn't get like the spotlight like the next Luigi's Mansion did, or the next Yoshi game did, or something like that. These two games in terms of Astral Chain and Naki definitely kind of slid under the radar, but I hope that the sales don't do the same. Life is Strange 2 also looks cool, but I mean I will have to beat Life is Strange 1 first before I even look at Life is Strange 2, but yeah. Those I think are like the bigger releases.
Oh, for sure.
Any closing thoughts?
Oh, and for those who are interested, the classic World of Warcraft is also coming out late August 27th.
Is it actually?
Yeah, on the PC.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, because I know CJ was super excited about that, because I'm like, I know that was coming up. So yeah. August 27th. Classic World of Warcraft.
That, and also Warcraft 3 was also a big one.
Yeah.
I don't know about Warcraft. Why don't we have Pat on this? Pat would know more about this.
But guys, Madden 20.
Yeah, Madden 20 is coming out.
That's coming out.
It's not going to have egregious monetization at all. It's going to be only good. I can't even say it with a straight face. I can't play sports games anymore. It's sad.
But yeah, let us know what you guys are interested in.
Yeah, let us know if you guys are interested in the same games.
You clearly know which ones we are, because we were in complete agreement on what the awesome games were this month, so we were like, yeah, we're just going to change things up when Mike can't, dictate and yell at us.
Yeah, we get to choose the games, Mike.
And Mike, when you're watching this, hi.
All right, we're gonna end it with that. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. Again, not the biggest of months, but still a good month, at least for the one games that we want to see. Good month for Nintendo, at least.
Yep.
Nothing, I don't think really big is coming in terms of like something specific for Xbox or PC. But yeah. Leave those comment sections below if there's any other games that you want to see. But after this, I think this is more of the quiet part after E3, once holiday season starts picking up.
Borderlands 3, baby.
There's going to be some great games popping up there. So fingers crossed that these meet our expectations. Bye.